with me, Coach Orlando of Align Performance LLC, and everybody's favorite mixologist, coach, and all around awesome human being, Coach Mojo. What's going on, Mojo?
Hey now, how you doing? Ain't
Good.
nothing. Happy to be here.
Yeah, me too. It's been interesting. I've been really marveling that this year has felt both unfathomably long and unfathomably short.
Yeah,
Um, so that's been a that's been an interesting element of this conversation. Like, part of me can't believe it's almost the end of March, and then part of me feels like it should be the end of March 2027.
that part. And then the
You
week
know,
seemed real long to me too. Like, woo. Last week on
it's
Friday,
tough,
I was like, it's a good thing it's Friday because I can't go no further.
and
That part.
it's and it's not where we're going for primarily, but but just to touch it, I do think I've had to pay more and more attention to how much world stuff impacts me, and not just like, oh, it's on my mind, but like, it's a lot, and I get
Mm-hmm.
tired, and I really, not to act like, oh, I'm the first person who ever had empathy, but I'm a very empathetic person. So you showed me pictures of a bunch of girls got blowed up, like, that's, that takes a little out
Yeah.
of me. And I know it doesn't take,
Mm-hmm.
and I might say I'm actually impressed by the people who can like process that and be like, that's terrible, and then move on to the next thing in their day and leave it right there.
Yeah.
I'm working on that, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not easy for me. So I know that's been part of it for me. Is I'm just like, whew, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I feel like I've been doing the opposite. Like I've been straight ignore button because I probably for the same reason. Like I cannot
Mm-hmm.
digest it. I don't understand. This is way too close to home, even though when it's not at home, it's not good. But yeah,
Right, right. Yeah, so no, but
disengage. That's what Mojo has been doing.
yeah, yeah, and in some ways we have to. On Align Family. And by the way, folks, and I always forget to do this, and I do it at the end, and I know I'm supposed to do it in the beginning and the middle and the end. Please like, subscribe, Align Originals. I'm about to mention another one of our shows, Align Family, where we talk about marriage and parenting and sort of how do we manage to take care of ourselves and be our best selves while we're doing all of that. So there it is. I did it. I finally said it before the minute and
You know
50 mark.
what, Orlando? Now that you mention it, can you just tell the people, just in case this is somebody's first time watching,
Yes.
what's Align Originals and what are the
Come
umbrellas underneath them
on.
girls? I'm just saying, for the
Come on.
people. Let's do it for the people
Thank
today.
you. Thank you. So
Mhm.
Align Originals is our YouTube channel. We are building. We have this show, Align Your Mojo, which is really our lifestyle show. This is the day-to-day piece. Getting to your mojo. You see the sign, Finding Your Mojo, which is that's Coach Maisha's work right there, and she has also her Monday Moments, which we share, but that's on her side. We'll give you that info too. But on Align Originals, we have this show. We have Align Family, which I just described, which really is about family life as we're working through our own things and healing our own traumas and all the things while we still have to
But with a
make that
cute
all work.
comedic swing, I must say. I should say with a cute comedic little
You like
twist in
that?
there because they funny too. It's serious, but it's funny, y'all. It's funny.
Well, what's funny is that's how Ro and I know each other. I started doing stand up. I met Ro, and we became instant friends. Both from New York. We have, even though we do very different stuff, like we have similar kinds of humor. So anyway, we got along great. So that's what that's been the whole time, and almost 20 years now that I think about it. And then we have You Got Some Balls, which is our sports and culture show with Professor Michelle. And we get into, yes, what's happening in sports in the day, but we dig a little deeper into what are some of the issues underneath that. What's the impact of that? So yeah, you might get your Super Bowl report from us, but you probably also get, the discussion about the half times and what's going on in terms of coaching and all the other things as well. So that's how I've always seen sports. And I think it's one more way for us to show what we do here, bringing us back to Align Your Mojo, which is to help people be their best selves, live their best lives. We want you to be able to align who you are, and where you want to go, no matter what part of your life we're talking about. And I guess the last thing I'll say about that is for a while, it was hard for me to explain to people that it really is, it can be applied throughout your life because it's a philosophy as well as the approach. And so I feel like by having these shows and having these conversations, we're starting to show people instead of me trying to tell people. We're starting to show people this is how it can show up in your personal life. This is how it can show up in your family life. This is how it can show up out in the world. This is how you might address politics. So that's been the goal, and it's growing. So subscribe, check us out. We got clips, full episodes, the whole thing. But
on YouTube at
on YouTube.
Originals.
Align Originals. So again, subscribe, like. We have playlists for each show, so it's all organized for you. So go and enjoy what you want to see. But today, speaking of being our best selves and living our best lives, you and I got into a conversation. You had a chef on, and of course, now my brain is not going to give me her name.
It's okay. I have all. That's why at the beginning of the show, I was scrolling down here. I was just trying to make sure I had it top of mind.
Yes, so yeah, you can fill all that in, and then I'll bring it back around to today's conversation.
So speaking of lifestyles and alignment, today we're going to talk about a show I had a couple Mondays ago on my Monday Moments that happen every Monday at 8 p.m. EST, live on Instagram mostly, but also on YouTube at FYM with Maisha. We talked to a lovely woman named Chef Tori. I could tell you her whole name, but I don't remember. But Chef Tori. And her website is greengeniusmeals.com.
Mm-hmm.
Tori Ann Ramsey. I found it. But anyway, she was just schooling us on, speaking of Orlando and I'm proud to say, are both coaches. So she does a lot of nutritional coaching, and she does it for people on all different stages, ages, and aspects of their life. She does some for people who are into sports, some people that just want to eat better, just all realms of eating better. So I found myself, she's getting her MBA she's getting a degree in nutrition. How about that? Before I start trying to mock up the letters. MFBHSF.
Right.
So yeah.
Alphabet.
So that part. So she was really just talking to us, since it was just her and I and y'all watching, we were just talking about the best way to eat healthy and clean and good things that are nutritious to your body, not just because I want to eat and I'm hungry. So what I also enjoyed about talking to her now, not only was she talking about the types of food we could eat, but also how it plays a role in your mental and physical and spiritual health. So that was really interesting to me. And it was so timely for me because it is the Lenten season, and the Christian in me does. The last 3 or 4 years, I've been practicing something that's called Daniel's Plan. Now there's a Daniel's Plan and there's a Daniel's Fast. Fast way stricter, although both seem pretty strict to me. But the plan just means, and it sounds like it's a little difficult. I was about to use my Spanish and say difícil just because it sounds cute. Anyway, y'all, I'm tripping. I promise I ain't been drinking. I'm just feeling myself today. I'm just feeling my mojo today.
Come on.
But anywho, Daniel's Plan is just clean eating. When I say clean eating, it means no sugar, no preservatives, none of those things you can't pronounce on the back of the labels. So, usually has most of the good stuff for you has things you can pronounce, and it's 2 or 3 things in them. So we do no sugar, no flour, no caffeine. I've been missing my coffee. I'm not almost more than my cocktail. No alcohol, clearly. So we doing 40 days. Now, we started, it's a group of us on Ash Wednesday, which this year was February 18th. And I generally stop on Good Friday.
Okay.
So what I figured out, most of the times we just do it and stop then, but my mother has been kind of sending us a Bible verse every day. So what I learned that today is day 38. Apparently, maybe 40 days doesn't include the weekends. So I got 2 more days. Okay, no, I'm gonna stop on Good Friday, but I'm just saying, just in case. I can't make it.
Just to be clear.
Just so you know, just to be clear, 40 days. But anyway, so it just means clean eating. And it sounds a little difficult, but you definitely got to shop. You're shopping all the time. And I find I'm a snacker. So just if you prepare your foods well, and it just means really eating stuff that's in the earth and stuff that's grown on trees.
Yeah.
Although I did find some potato chips that's baked and only have salt and oil.
And you were like, I'm going for it. And
popcorn, one of my favorites. But anyway, so that's what I've been practicing. And to start off the conversation, like I usually do on my Mondays, my non-alcoholic beverage today, I just came from the store.
There's a lot going on. Gotcha.
I really want to get some whiting because it's Fridays and the blacks we like whiting.
Got it.
Okay, anyway. So Y'all, I'm tripping today, I promise, but I'm making myself laugh, if not y'all. I got my favorite glass because it has my name on it. But I got some mint
Nice.
leaves. I just use frozen fruit from the ones I put in my smoothies. It's a tropical
Okay.
blend and some ice. And I love bubbles. I really like bubbles. That's what makes me happy.
Gotcha.
So what's been
Gotcha.
saving me is something that's in a pretty glass and it's bubbly. So that's what I got here.
So this is not that. This is just cranberry juice in a mason jar. But I have made this week, and actually I'm gonna try to score some more. There's a drink called Sorrel. I don't know if you would know.
I
you
love
know
Sorrel.
Okay. So I didn't know where you would find that out here. It really does. But Daphne knows I love sorrel. I'm the only member of my family who does love sorrel. So she bought it, and so I made some. This is only the second time I've ever made it. So it's not like I have like some great recipe or whatever. But it came out pretty good.
Now, what you put in that? Tell me.
Well, for me, it's pretty simple of the things I saw. So it was ginger, cloves, and then the hibiscus leaves. You know, the actual leaves, and then I boil those up and then let it sit for 2 days, and then poured it out, strained it. It's been pretty good. And one of the things I found, because I also like my Soda Stream, my fizzy water.
Yeah, see, I probably need that because I love it.
Bored of water. I won't drink, like I have to find ways to. And I found that the Soda Stream water and the sorrel is a great combination, because sorrel is a very strong taste. Like you said, it tastes good with rum. Like people usually do cut it. They don't think of it that way, but they are cutting the sorrel as well. And so, that's a nice little refreshing drink right there.
Friend from Trinidad who used to make sorrel. He just used to make vats of it and bring it to me. Like, oh, you want some? I'm like, absolutely. It reminds me of around Christmas when people make the cojito. It's sorrel, and I like it. And I even like hibiscus tea, which is nice.
It's really nice. And I didn't realize, because, the cultures, right? So we had some family friends Mexican-American family. And so we go to visit them, and they're like, oh, we're going to try this drink, Jamaica or whatever. I'm like, sure, yeah, okay. And I tasted it, and I really turned to Daphne and was like, this tastes like sorrel. But it didn't have like all the spices and stuff. Like it was much more of a punchish kind of a vibe. So I was just like, so they talk about it. I'm like, yeah, the Jamaica. And then I'm like, Jamaica? That's Jamaica.
How about that?
And so I asked them about it. They're like, oh, hibiscus leaves. So I was like, oh my God, it is actually the exact same. So
look at that.
Then we were like, oh, okay, when we could theoretically out here, the like different markets or whatever, find it if we, knew that that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to go looking for it again. Daphne was in Miami, bought me some. But the reason I brought it up, now that I walked you through the history of sorrel in my life, the reason that I brought it up is that I'm trying to find simple ways to include things specifically that are supposed to help with high cortisol, which I think is a problem for me, but just generally like anything is anti-inflammatory, just ain't. So I know turmeric is supposed to help with that. So I've been trying to like cook stuff that, and use turmeric. This with the ginger. Now I put sugar in it. Next time I would plan better and have like, at least have some what do they call the brown sugar? My brain isn't giving it to me, but anyway,
sugar in a raw.
But same idea. Turbinado. That's what I was.
Oh, I don't even know that word.
Turbinado. Turbinado sugar. So it's got the same vibe, sort of brown.
About that.
That's whatever. So instead of using refined, then the refined white sugar. I'm not sure. You probably shouldn't be drinking too much anyway.
So the woman, the chef Tori, she also we were talking about sugar because I had all the questions about sugar. So she said, because I thought agave, a lot of people use agave. I don't know if you were online. She said agave, not so much. She said it's too sweet.
Really?
She did, but she said if you're gonna do sugar, just do like you said, the kind that's not bleached. She said even if you could find, sometimes I guess it's white sugar that's not bleached, but anything like sugar in the raw, anything is not bleached. She said
right,
it's all right. Maple syrup, she said, it's better than agave. And
really,
honey, just fresh. Yes, like not maple syrup, like pancake syrup. That maple syrup that's in that expensive glass kind of round jar.
Right.
So my tea, Speaking of hibiscus, I was telling you I like hibiscus tea, but a new tea that I recently been making, they say it's supposed to be good. It helps with anti-inflammatory and like not catching is immune system. How about that word? I've been doing I'm cracking myself up today. Orange wedge, lemon wedge,
Mm-hmm.
ginger, cinnamon stick if I have it. Cinnamon, what's it called if I don't? I said
Mm-hmm.
ginger already. Peppermint leaves and
Yes.
sage with some honey. It makes me really happy. And hot water. That's my new
Yeah.
favorite thing in the morning. Yeah. Because I
So
can't have my
when
coffee.
does that have and I want to talk about that piece too, but do you find that what is that tea accomplishing for you, I guess? Or like what is it just to have something to replace the coffee, or does it have its own
You
you have
know,
your own reason for those ingredients? Or
I
like
like it. Something about it does really feel healing. I don't even know what healing feels like, but it feels like it's doing something good for me when it's going down.
yeah.
Something, and I don't want to say refreshing because it's hot, but it's something therapeutic maybe about it. I don't
Mm,
want to say. But I will say I usually have black decaffeinated tea first. Like when I leave the house, I'm a creature of habit, y'all. I
right.
should say this first. So I have oatmeal, still cut oatmeal, which she tells me. Anyway, we'll get back to that.
We'll get ready.
Still
Yeah, we'll
cut
do that.
oatmeal in the morning, and I would usually with some kind of fruit on it because I hate oatmeal, but I thought it's good for you. I think it's good for you. It's supposed to be good for your heart health. So I usually
Right.
have oatmeal in the morning after I work out with fruit on top, and then coffee if I'm drinking coffee. I've been doing a mushroom coffee even when I am drinking caffeine,
Yep.
but it has caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've been doing black tea, and then I leave the house. But by the time I get to work, I don't know whether it's because I'm eating so clean lately. I'm hungry again, so I
Right.
usually get to work maybe 2 or 3 hours later. I'm hungry, so then that's when I do the tea because it's something
Mm-hmm.
soothing, like I said about it, but not so much like relaxing, like sleepy time tea or
Right.
like
But
that.
just feel like
But it,
yeah,
yeah,
levels.
something. Yes, yes. So I
Mm-hmm.
do that, and I do the day. Sometimes I just fill it up with hot water and won't like redo the whole herbal thing. Just fill it up
Right.
with hot water. Yeah, I really like. Then usually a salad for lunch and something, some kind of protein fish, something for dinner.
So when you approach this, obviously this is in part a religious thing, right? I mean, you're doing it for Lent, right? But for us, and I'm always gonna be on this. How do you approach it, right? Because if you're doing this thing, it's for Lent. Like, how do you show up? What's your who, right? We're finding your mojo. What's your mojo in
Mm-hmm.
terms of the decision of what to do for Lent, and then also how do you show up from day one to day 40 to actually stick to it? So before we deal with like, I want to talk about the health part, but just as a matter of part of
Mm-hmm.
your aligned part, how do you get it done?
Yeah, no, I like that question because I don't think I even realized how much I have to go through mentally before I do that or anything I
Mm-hmm.
decide to do, right? I mentioned
Mm-hmm.
I'm a creature of habit, but I'm also my mojo likes a routine. I think I enjoy a routine. I like
Mm.
the habit and the discipline
Mm-hmm.
even really. That's really the word I'm looking for. I enjoy discipline and I'm proud of myself when I can stick to, especially if it's something good, right? The discipline
Mm-hmm.
of it because you could be a habit, but it could be a bad one. So
Right.
I definitely
For
have
sure.
to get in
For
the
sure.
mindset of it. I couldn't just I don't even when I work out often too. And before I
Mm-hmm.
did that, I didn't just get up one day like, okay, I'll work out today. It's definitely a mindset that I had to get in, like, okay. And it was baby steps. First, I'm like, oh,
Right.
that's I was a dancer. So I was like, oh,
Mm.
working out is probably a good thing to do. But what does
Right.
that look like at 40? It didn't look the same it did when I was 20. It was more opportunities to dance at places than it was when I
Right.
got older. So I think the same with this plan. Like I wasn't eating terribly, but I know I could have done better. So
Mm-hmm.
I think when I started the first that was the thing about why I wanted to do it because it is a religion, a spiritual thing for me, but
Yeah.
also it's some health benefits too. So I
Sure.
definitely kept that in mind. So I thought about that part and just what it meant. I know that how do I eat? I'm a snacker. I need a snack. So if I was going to do this, I
Mm.
needed a snack and I needed to find out how I could do that on this plan. So once I felt, oh, okay, I got nuts, I got popcorn. Okay.
I,
Mm-hmm.
I I like that. That I mean, not for me, like, but I like that last piece especially because I think it's so important for us when we're trying to come up with any of these plans, whether it's I'm gonna start working out more, I'm gonna to really think about okay, but in real life, what are you like,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
what's gonna really happen. Like I could sit here and tell you, like I'm gonna do that, but like, is that really like given how you get down? Is that really gonna be how this goes? And I think it's so
Mm-hmm.
important. to think about that stuff in the first place for a couple of reasons. One, you're more likely to be successful, but also this has been a big one for me. Anytime slash every time I try something like that, whatever change I'm trying to make and don't succeed, it can chip away at my will to try again, and it can chip away at my feelings about myself, right? And that's
Yep.
now that's something I'm working on otherwise. But I find that sometimes if it's if it's too much of a like, oh, I'm gonna do this kind of diet, or I'm only gonna eat this, or I'm gonna restrict to this many calories, or I'm gonna do this. Like if I get too, and I can get very, I mean, like if I study something and I go, right, so then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna count this many grams of protein, and I've done that stuff, but I find that it doesn't really match my lifestyle, and so sooner than later, kind of falls off because right. So I love what you're saying, which is, look, I'm gonna snack. So we might as well talk about that now.
Right. Yeah. So I need a snack. And what I also found out about me to get on a plan is that I needed to know what it was too. So I know we did every year. Like first, it started with me, my mother, and my sister, and every year we try to get more people into the groups. It helps having somebody else that's also doing it, because then you all like, what did you eat yesterday? How did you make that? What again? And I need it simple too. I'm not one of those people like, oh, I'm gonna try to make the
right.
Now some people on the plan with us are, but no, I need to be simple. I can make some potatoes, okay, and I can bake it. I can put olive oil on it instead of butter.
Right.
I love butter. Yes, I love butter, but it doesn't taste so bad. So I needed to do stuff like that was still simple. Like every now and then, once a week, maybe I could try something new.
Right.
And it also involves a lot of cutting up and shredding. And I don't always have that kind of time. I work in the city. I come home. I just want to eat. Sometimes you just want to eat. I want to prepare, right?
Right. So, right. That's yeah.
I needed to know that it was doable, easy, and I could still be full and enjoy my food, because I also enjoy the habit of eating. It's good. So
an example of that, and I want to come back to what you said about your mom, your sister, and the growing group. But I think it's so important, that piece around like, are you gonna be too tired? If I'm going to eat in a healthy way, and I want to come back around to the Daniel plan that you're on and learn more about that. But I know for me, when I eat in a more healthy way, I have to batch cook. Maybe it's the ADHD stuff. I know that's a thing, whatever. But like a lot of times,
they say it's a lot of people are doing that.
I cannot, like, if it's noon and I'm hungry, we are living a lie. Talk about I'm about to go cook something. I am not about to go cook something. We're gonna eat something that I can have in my face in the next 5 to 10 minutes. 10 is the outside limit. 10, you might as well. 10 is like a gourmet meal if I'm already hungry, And I think that when we take the time in the first place, I mean, that's so much of what we do, right, with people in general, but what we would do, and I've done with people in terms of food, or I've worked with people in terms of weight loss, athletes when I've coached them, and it's the planning that makes such a difference, because I'm telling you, at noon, I don't care. I want some food and I'm hungry.
That's right.
And that's probably right. If you get like that,
and I need you to say it just like that, because that's exactly how I feel. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if I have the stuff here, I'm less likely to be like, oh, let me call Grubhub, because guess what? Grubhub takes longer than the microwave. Like I'm a very simple man.
Yeah.
And I just have to be in touch with, but what's the reality? And the reality is, if I've cooked some chicken with yellow rice and it's sitting there, I'm gonna go warm some up. But if I haven't, I'm getting ready to go buy a burrito. That's what's about to go. That's what's about to happen. Let's be honest. So at any rate, but I love the planning piece of that. Let me ask you about the team piece though, because obviously that's something we talk to people about, and that's what we're doing here, is build a community and trying to bring people in and help them see all of this.
Isn't it funny how it just keeps showing up like that? We didn't even mean it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we're doing, huh? I didn't even know the Daniel planners were doing that.
It's almost like when I said Black women showed me the way with a lot of this, like I wasn't lying. But truly, I say that, and I'm very serious about that. But tell me about that. What difference you see in it being you, your mom, your sister, also as the group has grown? What what impact do you think that has on your experience through Lent of the Daniel plan, or more generally other years as well?
Man, I mean, it's almost like what you said about anything that you do as a group and as a community. Sharing is caring, right? So at first,
Mm-hmm.
there's some people, like some of us have done it for a couple, 2, 3 years, and some of us were brand new, and some of us just did it 1 year. So just the different angles, maybe that's the word that you get from
Mm-hmm.
different people who have done it at different
Mm-hmm.
times. Like for example, like I said, it's only clean eating, which just means you can have lean meat, you can have anything that doesn't have a bunch of chemicals in it. But me and my mother decided the first 10 days we're gonna do vegan. We're just gonna do vegan, see what happens. We're gonna
Okay.
test ourselves. So it's just funny the different ideas. My sister decided her and her husband were going to make tofu. Bless her heart. No, thank you. I have
Wait,
no
like
desire.
create it or just like buy some tofu and cook it?
Orlando Bishop, they made the damn tofu. I said,
All
God
right.
bless you.
I didn't
They
even
were
know that was a
boiling
thing.
and
So
cooking and me, then I don't care to know. That's nice. Go ahead. But when I tell you
I
they were
did not know
boiling
that
and
was a
cooking
thing.
and shredding and leaving it in the refrigerator and taking out and do, no, thank
Wow.
you.
Really?
No, thank
No,
you. I don't
thank
even
you.
like it enough, first of all, to do all of that. And then we're
That-
gonna do that?
right. Now I got to go through a whole other
Yes.
process.
So that
Right.
then I go upstairs one day. Mommy is making Ethiopian cabbage, which is really
Oh, okay.
good. She also made some sweet potato coleslaw. That's what she was making. When I tell you she had to shred up the cabbage, the sweet potato. No, thank you. I'm not doing that. So it's definitely planned, and you got to have all of the things. But I'm gonna have a
Mhm.
potato, and I'm put some black beans on there. Like I'm, like I'm not doing all of the things. I'm gonna eat healthy, but no, thank you.
But
I'm gonna
but
make a
but
salad. I'll put the salmon on top. But
no,
it is
but
interesting to hear all the different things that the people are doing. To answer your question, it is nice to see what because some people coming into it was like, oh, I can't do that. I can never do that. But when I
right.
say I'm simple, this is what I do. Like Camille
Right.
making
You
tofu,
like you
but
ain't
I
yeah.
am yes. So, but I'm making a salad. And I'm putting me a, I put some
Right.
beans on it and some yams. I'm make the yams 2 days ahead of time, or the sweet potatoes, so that I already have. But I'm not making the tofu. I'm not shredding up the carrots. But you could do this, so that's why it's
But
nice to have a community.
and I think as you described that, that's so important in community, right? It's funny. I was just this is again, my brain, right? So, but I was just having a conversation with somebody, and I'll bring it back to diet. But I was having this conversation about AI, and this person is hardliner, no AI, it's bad, don't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I stopped. He's a person who I know well enough that I feel like I can have an intelligent conversation with him. We ain't got to agree, but it ain't gonna turn into,
Mm-hmm.
social media craziness. And so, I
Mm-hmm.
stopped and I asked, I was like, hey, well, this is what I'm thinking about. And I feel like these resources really are blah, 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 blah. And we just kind of ended it on, well, that's where he is on it. And I'm still figuring it out. And we were like, I didn't feel like he and I had to agree on what was like the perfect use or not use or whatever or opinion
Yeah.
about it. We could both be in community trying to figure out what are we going to do about this AI movement. And so many times, and this is actually one of the things I don't like about a lot of diet stuff or even stuff I see ads for, because I'm on YouTube all the time and I'll see there's one guy who I can't get to the skip button fast enough. He's like, if you're over 300, if you make good for $300,000 a year, I'll get you shredded. And I'm like, first of all, everybody don't need to be shredded. Second of all, you got a bunch of guys who gonna believe you and think, one, that they gonna get shredded, which I don't think the average person has any idea what you physically have to do to look like that. It's not just, if you work out every day.
That's right.
As someone who has, I ain't never been nothing close to no professional athlete, but I've done enough athletics to tell you there were times in my life that my body fat was down in them numbers that people go, what? And still, I wasn't shredded like that. And I think, but they make it seem as if, okay, now I'm just going to tell you this one secret or this one workout and you're going to be all set for the, and I just have never found that to be true. I've never met anybody who said, I did keto for 15 years. Now, I know some people who did keto for a while, they felt it was good for them, or it worked for them, and it helped, blah, 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 and then but I don't think anything is that absolute, and I think there's a lot of value again, and figuring out, but what would that look like for you?
Yeah, yeah.
You
Right. What
know?
would it look like for you? Absolutely. Yes, because people's whole like your whole lifetime depends on what kind of eater you've been. If we're just talking about food anyway.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
yeah, it's not feasible probably just to wake up like, all right, I'm not eating no more anything.
Right.
Just
Also,
natural
I'm not.
juices and berries. That's it.
But if you, he's so funny. But if what I do, but in that, I do find that, like, for me at least, I have done better when I'm like, let me eat healthier. And I haven't tried it in years, so maybe it'd be different now. Maybe I'd have a different whatever.
What I
But
can tell
whatever,
you also is doing this, not to cut you off, but doing this, it
yeah,
makes like after I'm finished doing this, I don't just eat fried chicken every day either. It makes you look at stuff that's in your food. It makes you think differently. Like you cannot know that anymore. Because I
exactly.
look up on the back of the Jiffy box and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, no, listen, and that's
Crackers?
was it Michael Pollan? I think it was, because I got it from Daphne, but I forget where she got it. But Daphne is my wife. Sorry for those who are with us for first time or so. But Daphne, being a vegetarian and for a while was vegan, yeah, it's totally impacted how I eat. Right, so I'm not a vegetarian and I'm not vegan, but yes, like the she passed on to me the Michael Pollan thing that got me started on this, which was you don't want to eat anything your grandmother wouldn't have recognized. That's a good rule.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
That's a really and you know what I mean? And I was like, I get that. Like, I don't need no food scale to get that. I don't need no calorie counter. If it's got 15 syllables.
Right. Yes, that's basically what because there were some people on the dangerous plan. Some people even now this year that we did it, like my aunt included. I don't know if I could do it. I'm gonna try. She probably maybe she lasted the first week, maybe she lasted 2 days. The first year we did it, mommy was like, I'm not doing 40 days. You got me for 21, that's it. And I'm like, that's good. Listen, don't beat yourself
21
up.
more, right?
And every now and then this daggone almond milk, I can hardly find the almond milk without the stupid Zyatine gum or whatever that is in there that I still don't know what it is. But if that's all I have, like that's what I'm putting in my thing. Like, don't be crazy. We do what we can. So that's what I also think. Don't beat yourself up. And if you do, what my friend used to say, use a feather, not a hammer. That's what I always say.
Oh, I like that.
I don't say that. I stole that from somebody. But anyway,
no, I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
so I do want, because I watched some of, and we talked about that the interview you did with the chef. I had to jump, but I did watch some, and I was surprised specifically, and maybe I was like more attuned to it because you were doing your oatmeal videos, which I told you I think are fantastic.
Oatmeal confessions, yes.
Yeah, for those who are not on it, check out IG, check out Facebook even, and follow Coach Maisha, because she has been chronicling her morning oatmeal adventures, and it is actually quite entertaining.
Yeah, and that just made me think of a new one today. My mother made some oatmeal this morning. It looked like a whole lump of mush. I'm like, Mom, what's that? I said, did you measure? She was like, no, I just put a lot of milk. I said, that's too much milk. That thing looked like a lump of mush. Anyway, sorry, y'all. That'll be the next chronicle.
So there you go. So tune in and find out about the mush. But I think I was shocked that she was very anti-oatmeal. And as I told you, I respect her, and I was listening, but I have to say, when I got to the oatmeal point, I was like, I might have to hold on to my oatmeal. I'm not going to lie. So tell me more about that. And go ahead.
So she's Chef Tori. Love you, girl. I'll be ordering from you and getting some catering. But anyway, I was just asking her several things. I asked her about the sugar, which I shared with you earlier. And then I was just thinking about normal daily routines, because that's what I do. And I eat oatmeal every day, Monday through Friday, and the weekends I take off. But she told me that oatmeal is not good for you. Now, maybe I should have been more specific, because I'm convinced. I made my own translation that she meant instant oatmeal is not good for you.
Like the apple.
Because just to give y'all background, I do not like oatmeal. I've been a cream of wheat farina with a little white wheel on the front with that comb over for most of my life. I used to love me some cream of wheat. That's what I ate. Cream of wheat and farina or wheatina on a good day. But for reading with the milk and sugar and the things. So I stopped doing that because clearly every time I needed the butter and I needed the sugar and a little more.
Right.
Half and half is really good in it. Anyway, so oatmeal. I started to got a little older. And I'm like, oatmeal's probably the right thing to do, but I hate the consistency. Don't like it at all. So then I tried steel cut oats because they're a little more grainier and it doesn't taste as much like slop.
Right.
So, not that I even know what slop is, but anyway, that's what reminds me of. So that's what I've been doing. Now I don't enjoy it. It tastes like nothing. I use almond milk with it because water, I can't even imagine what it tastes like if you make it with water. But always, every scoop has to have a raisin, a fruit, a berry, something in every scoop. I can't have one scoop without something else in it.
Oatmeal, right?
Yes, can't just be oatmeal. So now I'm having this great conversation with Chef Tori and her nutritional information she's giving me, and then almost toward the end, she tells me that oatmeal is the worst thing you can have because it's too much sugar. So I took my oatmeal container, my steel cut oats. I promise I looked all over, y'all. Didn't say nothing. It said oats. It said organic oats. That's what it said. I looked in the thing, how it breaks down the carbs and the things and the things. It did not say any added sugar. So I need a follow-up.
Yeah, so maybe it was that most people do add a ton of sugar. Now that could be.
And maybe it's instant, because I know instant
for sure.
oatmeal probably has the thing.
The flavored ones for sure.
I'm still having oatmeal every day, y'all. That's what I can tell you. But like I said, she said stevia. She said stevia is no good. I thought stevia was okay. She said stevia is no good. We all know Splenda, Sweet and Low, all of that. No. And then I told you maple syrup.
I like the maple syrup idea. I may try that, but I do the turbinado sugar. And
I have never heard of that. I have to ask you that again.
I'd be very curious to see. I mean, obviously, too much of anything, but yeah, turbinado sugar I've liked having. I do try to stay away from the white sugar, which I know is like, unless you're making a dessert or something, you probably want to not.
You probably won't. I mean, some people try the other things, but yeah. So I thought that was really interesting. She said, but some of the other interesting things she was telling me, depending on who her client is, if she's having if she's coaching somebody for their nutrition, that. If you're like, I don't know what you do, but she said if somebody was in sports, like you said, and I'm sure volleyball, what is that? I can't even talk. A volleyball player. How about that? A volleyball player would be different than like a football player, or
for sure.
She definitely changes the diet or your meal plan according to that. So that makes sense to me. And then what sticks out to me too is one time I was listening to an interview with Will Smith that I probably told you before. And he was saying that he knows how to get his body to look like whatever it was for whatever movie he was in. He knows what to eat and what not to eat to look like that. But he said he wasn't feeling good. So a lot of what she was saying too should go back to, feeling good. Because with this diet, I will say, I mean, you have a lot of gas, I should tell you. But you definitely... I definitely feel lighter. Like I haven't even weighed myself because I haven't been doing this to lose weight, but I definitely noticed it. I feel like I feel better, and I definitely noticed the change in how you look because it's less fat. We're not eating as much fat, but definitely. So, but I do like the feeling of it.
So it's interesting you mentioned that it really wasn't a weight loss thing. I want to talk about the point, right? Obviously, you know what the point is. You're an Align coach, but just to share with folks, when we talk to folks about where they want to go. We talk about who you are, where you want to go. The where you want to go part, we talk about in terms of the point. And the point is a combination of really to answer two questions. What do you want, right? And why do you want it? With the why do you want it being the emotional experience. So we're going to get to the why part in a second. But in terms of the what do you want, what is that for you? Like on Fat Tuesday, tomorrow we start. What are you, when you look forward to those 40 days, what's the point for you? Like, is it not just, but is it to feel healthier? Is it to learn about nutrition? Is it, what is it that at the end of the 40 days is a success?
I think the discipline definitely is a big one for me. That's the first time I did it. I think it was definitely, I know it's definitely for the discipline. Over the years, it morphed into even, supposed to be spiritual. But if I'm being honest, first it was for the discipline. I'm sure one of the years it was to lose some weight. But as I continue to do it, it's for the discipline. It's for the spirituality, because I definitely feel a little clearer in mind and body. Like there's some things that I feel a little clearer, more focused on. If I'm, if there's some things that's floating around in there that I want to focus or hone in on more, definitely happens around now. And I like the community too. We usually do like a group, like potluck. So we
Oh,
have an
nice.
idea of what some people are doing and what you're eating and how you can eat. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think first is discipline, second the spiritual, the closeness, the oneness, the focus, and
Mm-hmm.
then I forgot what the third thing was. Whatever I said. Sometimes it is nutrition too. I did note I was on birth not birth control pill, Maisha, blood pressure medicine. And
Right,
I
right.
did notice my blood pressure went down significantly. So much so the first time I was like all the way off by the time I
Oh, wow.
finished. And I
Yeah.
do you
Okay.
and so it tells you it definitely is what you eat. And
Mm-hmm.
even when I'm off, like I said, it definitely makes you pay attention. So I might
Mm-hmm.
probably don't eat all of the things. So there's some things you can implement on a regular day. Like I really don't need to have all of the wrong crackers every day. And I really don't need to have all of the daggone burritos that I was having. So because once you see how much stuff is in it. Whew.
Yeah, that and I have to be mindful of. I will comfort eat. Like I will eat. Like that is a thing, and I don't know if I was. I what I suspect is I always did this, but right up until I was probably about 22, 23, I was in perpetual motion. And actually, my
Mm-hmm.
trouble, if anything, in high school, because I played football, was gaining weight. I used to spend my summers trying to gain weight. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I just eat. So now I know I'll eat my feelings, and when I do, like you can't sit me down here with some Thin Mints. That sleeve is what's gonna get
Ooh.
eaten. That sleeve
It's
is
the
gone.
dosey dose for me. That peanut butter
so
cookies for me.
so part of it's funny that you mentioned that because for me, it's actually when I'm eating healthy that I have a reason to not do it. If I sit down here and I've been eating healthier and I've been focused on it, I'll be like, yeah, I want to do that, but let me whatever. But I think the combination of just wanting to comfort and there's no real reason to not do it in that moment, it becomes easier to go overboard. Like really, at the end of the day, the satisfaction part isn't that much more for 3 cookies or 6 cookies. I found.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
you know,
I'm
and
lucky in
yeah.
that I have always my whole life been one of those people. Like I don't need to eat 10 cookies. Like I really can't eat 3. Like every now and then I need a chocolate chip cookie. I need a homemade fresh chocolate chip cookie. And if I can't have it, I need Pillsbury, not Nestle, the blue roll, not the yellow one. I need a couple of those.
Very
Like very
specific.
important thing.
Very specific.
Yes,
Very
yes, I know what
specific.
I like. So yes, I don't think it's believe it. And then how people can fast for like 10 days. I also enjoy the motion of eating. So I'm gonna need to eat. Like I don't want to. I
Yeah.
mean, I did the cayenne pepper. Everybody probably did that a couple few times. A 10-day don't eat nothing. But I like food.
I have to tell you, this is so random, and then I want to go to the wife side, but because you brought up that cayenne pepper thing. So, as you know, in college, I was in a singing group, and we do our big concert at the end of the year. And so one of the things that we had was like people have their little drinks around the stage, hidden or here or there, so that when something else was going on, you can get a sip of water or whatever you brought with you, right? So I forget. I think I had like an iced tea, whatever it was. Chad, I was on stage and grabbed somebody's damn cayenne pepper mix.
Oof, oof.
You know when you expected one taste?
Yeah,
First of all,
I do.
I thought I was about to have some refreshing iced tea. That cayenne mix hurt my feelings so bad. I never tried the diet, and I'm telling you, in part is because I was like, oh, I've been down that road. You'll never get me again. But I'm telling you, I really was like, am I dying? Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, no, thank you.
Am I dying? I really thought it was iced tea. Okay, that's my aside for cayenne pepper. I don't feel like I'm doing a great job of leading this conversation today. But anyway.
No, we're back and forth. We're doing great.
Here we go. So the why, though. I want to talk to you about the why, right? Because I think sometimes I'm always weird. You know this about me generally, but with food stuff and exercise stuff, I try to be careful about this. Once people start throwing around the word should, I get nervous. Because now all of a sudden it ain't from you and it's not necessarily a matter of alignment. Now you're trying to align with what somebody else said should happen. And I think that's often a problem. So for you, you've done it a few times now. You've chosen to do it again. What's the emotional experience that goes along with taking this time for yourself? I mean, you're doing it for Lent, and but somebody else could just do it for 40 days or for a month or whatever. What's that side of the point for you? that you get out of it or that you expect to get out of it that makes it more worth it or adds value to the experience?
Now that I've done it for a few times, and maybe at the other end of it, I felt different. But I can tell you now, because I'm in it still, that I feel really accomplished when I finished it. And it's
Nice.
interesting too. Like I like a cocktail, so it's so funny. So now
Mhm.
I can still go to the bar and have my, like, they know now when I come in. Like I thought they would be like, "Oh my, you got to drink, you got to drink." The people are
Right.
like, oh, "Okay, are you drinking?" Like that's what are you drinking today? So
Mm.
I have a
Mhm.
great sense of accomplishment after it is my why. Like I'm proud of myself at the end.
Good.
And it also makes me happy that I know the people around me are supporting things that I'm doing for
Oh,
to
that's
better
cool.
myself. It
More
feels,
of that
yeah, I like
community.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I'm
dope.
glad. Yeah, I'm glad I asked about that. It's
Mhm.
when and I'm trying to get back on it. Blah blah blah. We need to hear my thousand reasons in this, but I'm trying to get back on my exercise. Cooking regularly, whatever. And my experience with it is I feel more. The word I would use is powerful,
Mm.
and I think for
Mhm.
me, there's something about when I'm disciplined in that way, it makes me feel more capable in other parts of my life.
I like that. Yeah.
It really
And you
does.
might be right. I don't think maybe I didn't even realize that. But yeah, I feel so.
Yeah, does that
I feel
speak to
so.
you?
I can say the same
Resonate
for
for you?
myself. Yeah, that does.
Because
Hmm.
I just really find that I'm like, okay, like I'm in charge. There's something about, and maybe it's me hearing my father's voice because I started to use a phrase and I was like, my father used to use that phrase, but letting yourself go.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
there is something to that when you feel like you let yourself go, because then like, what does anything matter? So there's not I'm saying I'm actually thinking this in real time. I do that.
Hmm.
I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know what I think till I tell you. But I think there is something for me when I've done it and that I'm looking for now as I try to get my wheels going in that direction again. That says I'm not letting myself go. I respect myself. I respect myself enough to not let myself go. This is
Yeah.
how I'm going to
Yeah.
eat. This is how I want to feel. I want to feel strong. I want to look the way I want to look.
Hmm.
Um, excuse me. And I think when we help each other in these, and I'm gonna say small, but it's not small, right? I mean, you talked about your blood pressure coming down. When I pay attention, my cholesterol is where it's supposed to be. When we do those things, I do think it helps to give you the energy, but also I think like an emotional energy too.
Yeah. Yeah. You said it much
Like
better
life
than I would
isn't,
have.
you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like life isn't happening to me. Like I'm
Hmm.
deciding what I'm gonna eat
Yeah.
today. It ain't
Yes.
just what food happened to just pass my
Yes. I
face.
couldn't agree with you more.
You
Yep.
know, yeah, I think there's
Hmm.
something. There's a power there. For me,
For
I
sure. Me
I
too.
do want. Let me ask you this piece because as a company, we have worked with people in terms of weight loss, and we have talked about that and the health piece. When you in a more general way, not just these 40 days, but when you think physically, like I know you work out most days of the week, right? Or
Yep.
all days of the week.
Most days, Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays and Sundays, I probably just take a long walk or something. But yes,
Okay. So
on purpose,
mean,
Monday through Friday.
that's,
Yeah.
that's 5 days. That's 5 days of working out, right? I mean, what is your point? Just you personally, but not trying to impose this on anyone else. But what is your point physically?
I think it's a lot of what you said just now about eating better and how you can keep your cholesterol. You know that health is something that, I mean, you can try to, for the most part, what you can do, I try to do. And
Right. Right.
health is something that, you can be having a good day, but if you're not healthy, then whoo.
Yep.
So since if I can't get ahead of it, if I can stay on top of it, not even
Mm-hmm.
ahead of it, and have the mind, body, soul thing all in one too, then it helps. Like I feel better when I work out. I tend to work out in the mornings because it starts my day off right. I'm probably less grumpier, even though I still get mad on that commute with people sitting too close to me, squishing me. But it definitely makes me respond better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Right. Right.
I'm a
Right.
nicer person when I'm doing the right things and I'm feeling better.
Yeah. I
Really
like.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I was curious about that. I guess on my end, there's definitely that feeling of I'm in charge that I think is very helpful. But I will share
because nobody can work out for you. They can't go to sleep for you. They can't work out for you. So that control thing,
that
yeah,
is
that's
so
me.
big, and I love that because I used to say that to my athletes, but definitely my kids heard it more than once. It's like, hey, I got something to tell you. Can't nobody do your push-ups for you. There's all sorts of stuff you can hire somebody to do this. You can pay somebody to do it. Let me tell you something nobody can do. Your push-ups. Your push-ups is your push-ups. And I think that's incredibly important to acknowledge and to be in that you have to own it. But I have to say the other piece for me, the experience I had was at one point, like I said, I'll eat my grief. So this was after, I guess, I don't know. Maybe it's after my mom passed. At any rate, whatever was going on with me, I was in a let myself go phase. And Daphne said to me, "We need you. I need you to work. I need you to take care of yourself. We need you." And I got to tell you, like, there's certain times in my life that people in my life have said something to me, and where I've been like, that was the perfect thing to say to me to get the outcome you wanted. And that was it, because to me,
I say that sometimes to people too.
You know what I mean? I was like, to me, if you say to me, you're hurting the team, it's not just about you, Orlando. If you have a heart attack, you're gonna hurt the team. I'm a lot more likely to go get on that treadmill. And so there's something also where I feel like I'm honoring my family. You know what I mean? Like that I'll be strong enough to do it. I talk all the time like, oh, it's my job to protect them. Well, you can't protect them if you can't get up out the seat for 5 minutes, brother.
Right. That
you know what I mean?
Right.
Hold on. So you know what I mean? I'm coming. So I think that's been a big piece for me, is feeling like I think that there's the connection. And that's part of why I asked about the community piece. Because I think there is something about like, we're doing this. Like we are we're taking care of ourselves, but in a way we're also taking care of each other if we're doing it that way.
Yeah. Taking care of each other. Yep.
Yeah,
I think that maybe that's what I should send to the people on the 40th day.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. No, and when you mentioned to me, I was like, that's a really I just don't have, for reasons we are not going to get into in the last few minutes here. I'm not in the church right now, and I don't know that I would go back, but I don't rule it out. But that means I don't have a Lent. You know what I mean? I guess I could, but you know what I mean? Like I don't naturally have. So you've got me thinking more in terms of like, maybe I could say like, all right, what if I gave myself an April challenge? Whatever that is in my head.
I want to do a challenge too. I do want to do a challenge. Yeah.
Could that be helpful? And maybe at some point, now that we say it out loud, I mean, we have to do it in April, give ourselves some time to think about it and plan it. But maybe we should be thinking about doing some sort of a line challenge. Something that we could do together.
On my list, actually, I put that on my list last week. I want to create a challenge for something.
So maybe we should talk about that, because I'm telling you, and it's who I am. It's who I am. Make it a team, and you're gonna get a lot out of me.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
coach.
I've been this way my whole life, and I'm this way. Like I said, when Daphne said we need you, that was, I couldn't have scripted that any better. And that thing has stayed with me over the years, to where I start letting myself go, I'm like, come on now.
Yeah.
We ain't doing that. So yeah, let's can
I tell you a random thing? I know we were talking. It's not random. It is also when you start paying attention to what's in foods, and it also makes you pay attention to how people eat. So and then the computer knows what you say and what you're watching anyway. So now it's eating right things are coming to my feed.
That's funny.
So just a few things that I've learned in this year's, Daniel, is that there was a post or reel on about the 7 most harmful foods Americans eat, or that are banned in like 30 other countries. Now I'm not going to remember all of the 7, but I will
Sure,
tell
sure,
you
sure,
ones
sure.
that stood out for me. Ritz crackers, because they have some orange something flavoring. Oh, I mean, it has a bunch of stuff we should be eating anyway.
For
All the
real.
things we can't pronounce, but it's banned in
Right.
30 countries because mostly because some orange thing. They said
Mm.
coffee creamer. Now I needed them to be a little more specific because I do need cream in my coffee.
Right,
But,
right.
so that was interesting. Like, is
Interesting.
it just half and half? Is it just like, is it my almond creamer that I
Right,
use? Maybe because it probably
right.
has that Ziasin in it. Anyway, so then it also said that it was American pork, and it was in
I
American.
mean,
So
I
I'm
don't eat
like,
a
well,
lot of
something
pork, but I do eat
how they
pork.
feed me either, but I do not like a pork chop every now, like a piece of bacon.
Right,
They said something about the way they feed the cows, the pigs, I think,
right,
and then it
right.
was another one that stood out, and I'm not going to remember the rest. It was American salmon.
Oh.
Because they are farm raised, I guess. They're not wild caught. So I could maybe if it's American and wild
Yeah,
caught, it's okay,
I feel
but that
like
makes
I've
sense to
heard
me.
about that one, although I probably should pay more attention than what we're actually doing.
And then they said
Part,
other stuff
yeah.
that we would know, like Fruit Loops. Like nobody need to be eating no damn Fruit Loops anyway.
Well,
So
right, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
even,
Right.
But yeah,
I-
the
you
Ritz
know,
crackers got me. I'm like,
that's
damn it.
that
I like
surprises
Ritz
me a little bit. I guess
It's like
it
the
makes
damn
sense.
oatmeal.
Right, like don't be sneaking up on me with this unhealthy stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, and you know, the other thing is, I think knowing those things can be so important. You know, maybe one of the hows is like trying to stay educated, pay attention, not necessarily to follow every trend. My mother was a nurse, psychiatric nurse, but you know, a trained nurse. And so she was aware of such things. And she used to say to me all the time, like, be careful because they'll come out with a study this year that says, you know, apple juice will kill you. And then next year it'll be only drink apple juice. So she's like, just basically, she was like, don't listen, but like,
Yeah.
you know, don't get too crazy chasing everything.
Yeah.
And but I do
But it
think
did.
sometimes it's a value to know, like, you know what, if I'm just gonna eat some crackers, I'm okay to getting some saltines. If you know, like, just I think sometimes those simple, like, I was gonna get a pork chop, but all right, if it's like that, I'll get a chicken cutlet. Like, all right.
Right, that part. For the record, some other things, not that you asked me, but since we're still talking about other food that's good for you that I hate, chicken breasts. Do not like chicken breasts. Everybody that I tell that to says, you just got to have it right. I just got to make it for, if I make it, it won't be dry. It's still dry. I still don't.
That's really
one person
funny.
that said that to me has ever, I'll eat a boneless skin. I've been, and instead, I mean, during Daniel's plan, I have eaten chicken breast. I will put chicken breast in my salad, but just like a piece, the main course, I don't like it. So I'll do boneless, skinless thighs. That's what I'm doing. That's what I could do for you.
That seems reasonable. That seems reasonable.
Right.
I mean, you know, it's not crazy. It's not like you're like, so I had a pork tenderloin every day. Like, it's all right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Boneless, skinless chicken thigh. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I've been this is random, and I will, if you're interested.
Apparently, this is a part of the dialogue that's random, y'all. So stay with
me. Here we go. This is what we doing. But I made some lemon pepper chicken. Seriously, I know we're like on to very specifics now, but I was like, this is a good idea. I was like, because I literally just squeezed lemon, let it sit in that with the lemon pepper seasoning, little salt, little garlic. Not even, you know, maybe I put like some basil or whatever, you know, just oregano or something, and just give it a little of that floral, and then
that sounds right.
Yeah, and cooked it up. I was like, this hits, and I didn't have to feel like, you know, because sometimes I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna make chicken parm. It's like, come on, bro, that's a lot of cheese. But
cheese is definitely processed.
So yeah, no, you're right. So like the lemon chicken or whatever. Like, I'm trying to find more things like that. Like I said, I've been making like chicken with yellow rice. Again, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be leaving the skin on the chicken because once I cook that,
I love the skin on the chicken, and I love the skin on salmon too. You probably not supposed to that, but last night I had that. I went to a restaurant, a sushi restaurant. It was an appetizer, salmon skin. I was like, yes,
yeah. I've seen that before. Yeah,
oh, this make me happy. Quietly, y'all, I have also had chicken skin at a restaurant as an appetizer, like in a bucket, like French fries.
Just the skin.
Chicken. I ain't gonna
really
delicious, crispy, yummy, little salt.
Very, very non-Daniel plan compliant.
Exactly.
Not Daniel plan compliant.
I didn't eat anything else for the rest of the week, I promise. Yeah, Oh, can
But
I tell you something? Speaking
yes,
about Fridays and eating fish, do y'all know anything about the blacks eating chicken on Friday? I mean, chicken, fish on
fish.
Fridays.
I
Fish
I
on Fridays. That's what I'm
I,
trying to say.
I'm definitely aware, but yes,
I mean,
we probably
everybody
might
should
be
can
educated
do it. I
folks.
I I definitely recommend, but it
Right,
is
right.
definitely a black thing. So now Daniel's playing. My girlfriend, I went over her house. She had to get together a couple weeks ago. I was like, "What can you
Mm.
eat?" I was like, "Nothing here." I mean, she had
Mm-mm.
lasagna, Big Mac and cheese, catfish
Mm.
fingers. She goes, "What?" She was like, "Well, you said you're eating fish, right?" I said, "Not fit fried fish, girl. Does that what part of Daniel? How does that?" Anyway,
Right, right, right.
whiting, y'all. I bought today. I just and I since I started buying fresh fish, I gotta tell you,
Hmm.
it tastes way better than them frozen bags of whiting.
I
So I got
know.
some fresh filleted whiting right before I jumped on this call with you, and I'm gonna bake it. I baked it last week. I'm telling you, I never knew anything about baked whiting.
Baking
Where
fish.
they do that at? But when
Right,
I tell you
right.
it's
It
quick, and
worked.
I told you I don't like to cook, but I like my food to taste. I like my food to taste well, good.
Hmm.
Dang, what I was hard to say. So I put it on a baking sheet, cookie sheet, flat, and I just season it with olive oil because I can't have a lot of greases either. So I do olive oil, sometimes Lowry, sometimes salt and pepper, just depends on what I have. Garlic powder, and sometimes a little lemon pepper. Oh, actually, you can even replace the salt and pepper with Old Bay, garlic powder, and some olive oil. Drizzle that thing,
Nice.
massage it in there 20 minutes. 20 minutes. That's all. That's it.
Nice.
I'm just saying, it's good. I recommend.
Well, there you go.
That's all I have to say
So I
about that.
think so because I always want to wrap up, right? So, but I do love the idea of us doing some sort of a line challenge. So we should talk about that and when would make sense for us to do that. Um, I think that could be very cool. So there, we found that.
Mhm.
And then I guess I'm just curious, and maybe I'll even keep have this as one of the clips that we share with folks. I'm curious to hear what choices people make when they're eating healthy, when they feel like they are taking care of the diet part specifically,
Mhm.
and then how that makes you feel. I would love for comment below. As we send the clip out, comment there, hit us up and tell us. Go to our Facebook, our Instagram, whatever, and tell us. I'm really curious to hear that, and maybe we could create something where we share community wide. Like,
Yeah.
here are just some
That'd be
thoughts
one
from
of our
different people.
questions of the week, or
Exactly. Like, what
because
are we?
what I
Yeah.
we didn't get a chance to talk about, but I would love to talk about is just how your mood also affects your health, right? Because how many times you
Mm,
have people I don't know, people that are
mm-hmm.
like bedridden and how
Mm-hmm.
differently they respond or get better depending on people coming to visit them or just their
Yeah.
overall positive thoughts,
Right.
or people
Right.
that are just already mad at the world, already depressed, or already don't like their living situation, or something
Right.
else negative is affecting them and they're sick. And
Right.
it's be interesting to see or how people respond and say they feel when they're down and they're down.
Right. And I think, like I said, with my comfort eating, and I think I know this to be true for some other people because I work with people on this. If it's again getting out in front of it, if I'm handling that part, I usually don't, even when I want some comfort. I remember at one point I was boxing like 5 days a week, plus running on the weekends and all this kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
literally, I would do my strict eating all day. And I was like, oatmeal in the morning, lunch was always a salad with a lean protein, dinner was usually a salad with a lean protein, maybe some rice or something. Like, I was being like,
Mhm.
but I would give myself literally a tablespoon of ice cream for dessert. A
Oh,
table,
okay.
and I would eat it with a teaspoon. I would take it from the thing of the tablespoon, put it in the bowl. I would eat it with a teaspoon. And do you know that was a satisfying dinner? That's why I say I know you don't need to eat that many because it was enough to just feel like, okay, I had a sweet treat at the end of all this. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that easily becomes 3 scoops of ice cream if I'm not taking care of myself. And
Mhm.
so I think it's almost double. Like, I feel better in the first place, so I don't feel like I need as much comfort. So I don't eat as much of the comfort food.
Huh. Okay.
You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yes, now
I
I
didn't
do.
mean to go
Yeah.
for a close up, but there you go.
Yeah, I think
But
you did. I think you did.
but you know
Mm.
what I mean. So that's the other piece for me is I know once I get the ball going, it doesn't have to feel like I'm a monk.
Word up.
You know what I mean? It's just
And
a
I think for
different
in
way.
life, I told you, I think the other day, I'm always usually like a middle of the road kind of person
Right.
anyway. So
Right.
I'm okay with a little bit. I don't need all of the things, but I need a little bit of the things. Word up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad we had the conversation. Let the folks know again about Monday Moments, especially, but wherever you want them to find you.
Yes, yes. Monday Moments, y'all. Monday Moments with your girl Mojo happens at 8 p.m. EST. And I usually have a special guest and we talk about lifestyle, what's happening in the world. Like I was mentioning today, we talked about healthy eating, what it means for your mental, physical health. And then sometimes I talk to people about their professions and what they're doing. Next Monday, I'll be talking to someone who moved from Africa to America and her journey and her life now. So come on and join me, y'all.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. You know, I'll be in there. So I'm looking
Yes,
forward to that
yes,
myself. And
yes.
yeah, we'll pick up the conversation. Good luck with the last week. You got your Palm Sunday. Like I
Yes,
told
thank
you,
you. Yes, yes.
this is
Preach.
my it was all good just a week ago week on the advent calendar. That's so
Yes.
silly. But it really is. I do think of that song all the time in connection with
I
this. But
like
anyway,
it. I like it.
um, but yeah, I think this is a good. I think this is right in line for what we said Align Your Mojo is going to do. So we should follow up on this. I'm excited.
Yes, yes. Looking forward to our challenge.
All right, y'all. Go
All right.
subscribe. Go join the like the playlist and follow the playlist and do all the things. We about to be our best selves and live our best lives and be healthy while we do it. See
Word
y'all
up and have
later.
fun while we're doing it too. See
Hey.
y'all.